Hi, welcome to another episode of I Mustache You Something. Um, we just recorded an episode that I'm not sure that we've never had that problem where we recorded something and we're like, this was too much. So if
Using that we term real loose there, buddy. Using that we term real loose.
oh, so Mitch called me out on the last one, which again might never see the light of day, that I cause problems and then I I don't know. How'd you put it?
So you intentionally like start a fight between folks, and then you get annoyed that the fight started, which is
I didn't get
crazy.
no, no, I don't get
You're
annoyed.
appalled, appalled, appalled is the word. You're like,
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh,
you start
Dios
clutching your,
mío.
you're like clutching your pearls after you were like, hey, you two should fight, and then you're like, oh, I can't believe they fought. That's crazy. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Either in for a penny, in for a pound, sir.
But so I'll tell you guys a story. We so I'm coaching the Coast basketball, for one of the teams. Oh, Coast is the local basketball. It's like the Toy Bowl for New England. Um, and we had the Zoom meeting like at the beginning, like the required one. And in the rules, it was like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, do that. And I remember they said no rage baiting. And I was like, what? I was like, what's sports without rage baiting? I was like, that's like 80% of my basketball, skill. Getting under like one of the best players in the tournament, you know, for like 10 years couldn't score on me. Why? Because I got under his skin. Like that was like 80% of the defense. He's a much better player. And I think that's perhaps something I need to repent and take responsibility for.
Or don't worry
Um,
about it.
so okay. So that was another theme in the previous conversation is and probably the reason that it won't, or if it doesn't get posted, that will be the reason, is my call it hypocrisy, right? Like my sense of like fake propriety, right? Where yeah, like I don't really personally care, but I'm afraid that someone else cares and judges me because they care about something that I'm like, guy, like, like if you um let me get under your skin, like I'm not going to say I have no responsibility. Yes, as in Mitch's analogy earlier, like I'm the one who got the boxing gloves and the ref and the ring. Like, I'm somewhat responsible for the boxing match. However, you know, if we're talking about, from an ethical standpoint, like someone jumps up and says, I oppose, boxing. Okay, well then why did you box? I oppose boxing. Well, why did you watch? Like, why did you buy a ticket? Right? I personally, like, I like you know, I don't have an issue with it, but I do worry that someone who has an issue with something, judges me or somebody that I care about and looks upon me or them negatively
Yeah.
because they have a broken opinion. And maybe I shouldn't.
I mean, I think that taking it's all about like agency, right? Like if you want to pick a fight and then watch the fight, then take agency that you pick the fight and you watch the fight and you enjoy the fight and then move forward. Same way is the people that took the bait should also take personal responsibility and be like, yeah, dude, I took the bait and I went to war. Like, and it's fine. Who like at the end of the day, like it's not like we're building or destroying churches here. We're just having conversations.
Hmm. Yeah, but words, words matter and how
Such
words.
that's such a modernist take, man. This like words thing. It's like they're just words. Like we teach, I teach my kids. Like kids are mean, adults are mean, everybody's mean. They say things. Don't worry about it. You know who you are. Your family likes you. Eh. You have friends who don't take you that seriously because they know that you shouldn't be taken that seriously. Then life is good. Like it's fine. Don't worry about it.
For the poets among us, there's this old poem that was brilliant. And I don't know if it was if I don't know which philosopher came up with this one, but it was like I think he said sticks and stones may
Ah,
break my
yes. Ah,
bones,
yes. That's a
but
wonderful the ancient
names
poetry.
will never. That poet
Mm.
is sort of I think it's an anonymous poet, but
I think they taught it Brown, but I'm not sure.
it did, but it's just it's an old poem, but
No,
it's sort of
but on the serious point, like yeah, like it's silly, and when you're a kid, it doesn't help, right? Like oh, like it does hurt. Like I do feel sad by this,
yet
but
it's true.
but the part of like growing older is be like, yeah, well, if you can, it's the power of words lasts about 2 weeks, right? Like everyone's against me or this, and then eventually people move on to the next thing, and then into today's fractious media environment, don't worry about it. But I would say, Mina, like your love and your natural joy from picking a fight that isn't going to hurt anyone is fine and good. Or not and, but or your clutching at pearls is fine and good too. But doing both is a little bit disordered, I would say.
But I tend like
Yeah.
I think it's also so
It's Coptic guilt, is what it is. It's
well, and
Coptic
it's
guilt.
also like don't be surprised if there's like a meta galesa, like a meta impish thing where like part of the game is the oh dude, like
Right,
right
right, right.
right like the two things are not incongruous but like no like dude I don't know why you're so upset like like I
Yeah,
did it and I did it on
yeah,
purpose.
right. Like today in our chat, when you said something in Arabic, which I translated because I don't understand, it was like, "Who are you talking to? Like, get out of here," that kind of thing. And I was like, even though it wasn't in English, I was like, "Oh, he's trying to pick a fight," which just like immediately, like I didn't know what it was, but anytime I was like, "That's picking a fight," and
Right,
I
but
know what you
as soon as
wanted.
I
What you
as soon
wanted
as
from me was to start to pile on you and make you look a fool because the, you like that. You
right,
like,
I
yeah,
don't know why but like I do and
yeah.
it happens often from multiple angles. This is unfortunately the general relationship I have with most people that are close to me. um
How you show love.
I don't know. Like I think I
It's his
definitely
love language.
over yeah, my love like the five languages whatever. I'm like where's annoying people? Like why isn't that there? Like like I get under your skin and we feel closer to each other. No, like that's not a thing. And like the more annoying someone is, the more I'm like, oh, like you and me.
Yeah. I mean, maybe use it to like test people to see if you can push them away. You know, if I were to put on my super modernist hat, my therapeutic hat, is you do this to
Yeah.
try to test people to see if you can push them away, Mina.
Well, and I have considered that, and actually, like I, like full disclosure, got like very much ostracized and like rejected as a child, like moving around and stuff like that.
Mm,
So it was not just that; it was also like giving myself the excuse, right? That if like somebody, and I'm like, oh yeah, like it's because I was annoying, right? It wasn't just because like out of like absolutely nothing and just frivolous like mean kids being mean like no like I had agency and I had ownership
mm,
in like orchestrating this thing. I want to be disliked, but that obviously came much later like it when I was trying to be liked. This was not the persona.
right.
So yeah, you can blame the kids at PS79 in Queens for what you guys have to deal with.
Send your strongly worded letters to their address.
Actually, I still remember some of these kids' names, and I look them up every now and then, and I'm like, it's too bad he's successful.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I think that's like very normal and natural. That's why 10-year anniversaries or 10-year high school anniversaries exist, right? So you can have some Strident
Yeah, you just go back. Yeah, and just go back and judge everybody.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, let's just own it. So I don't we so far the topic for this episode is what
I don't
we
know.
didn't talk about.
Right.
Um,
We got 20 minutes. So, or 29 before I have to drop. So let's pick a topic. Something that's been bothering you. Ask us a question about something.
me,
Yeah, something that's been bothering you.
uh, I
How about a
guess.
new theological spin? How about that? You want to talk about
Ooh.
theology? You want to talk
Yeah,
about
yeah. Let's do
theology?
a theology
All right, how
24
about
minutes
this?
on
All right.
theology.
So I've been thinking long and hard about this issue, right? When did Lucifer fall, right?
Wait, you already did this one.
I did?
Yeah.
Lucifer?
Yeah, and then you made up this whole thing, and I asked you like, where did you read that? And
Oh,
most things that you don't read are heretical, and you were like, no, it just came to my brain, man. And I was
it
like,
just came to my
okay.
brain. All right. No, 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 no. First of all, I don't think it's heretical. I've refined it a little, right? Because the Bible says that Lucifer was envious of God, right? He was envious, and the story never made real sense to me about you know Lucifer going toe to toe. This is what I think the envious of God comes in, right? That man was created in the image and likeness of God on the road to theosis, something that Lucifer in his nature was never going to be on the road to theosis. So when he would say, I want to be God, it's not that he wanted to take over the Father's position, but he wanted to be God like we are going to be God. So both come in. A, he was jealous of us, right? And B, his envy and his pride. The pride didn't have to do with having to dethrone the Father. The pride was having to do with him getting out of his own nature. Like his nature was not going to be God, and he was jealous of the fact that we are going to be God, or God intended us to be on that road, and he wasn't. So he went out of his nature, and that's where his pride came in, that I
I'm
can be
not going to
something
say I
greater
don't
than I
find
am.
it interesting,
Yeah.
but if you don't reference somebody
There's
from the
no reference,
first,
bro. I have no reference. It doesn't mean
okay,
it's heresy.
but
It
dude,
doesn't mean
at
it's
least
heresy
like,
because it doesn't have
listen,
a reference.
give us the. I put this into Chat GPT,
No,
and
I
Chat GPT told me that Origin said
No,
this.
no, no one. I tried putting it into ChatGPT. I found no one to say who says this, but it doesn't
Then
mean if
it's
it
not
goes
true.
against that. No, that's not true. That can't be that can't be because it's never been said before. There is someone that says there is a saying that says nothing new is true and nothing true is new. I've heard that said
Yeah,
before, right?
right.
But I do not buy it in this regard. I do not buy it here.
So Ralph Toss and the devil are the exception to that axiomatic truth.
What do you mean the devil? I think this is a good narrative. It's a good narrative. I think it's
I don't
that doesn't
disagree.
contradict
I,
any of the
I
fundamental
don't
laws of
disagree, but
Christianity.
there's a difference between like I thought this perspective would be interesting versus I think this is what happened, right? Those are two entirely
It's
different
it's all
paradigms.
guesswork. It's all guesswork. It's all
Uh,
on everyone's front. It's all guesswork, isn't it?
no, because I
No.
think so. Somebody asked me last week about the St. Gregory line, what is not assumed cannot be healed.
Right.
And he called it a saying. And I was like, whoa, 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 time out. Before like I answer your question, it's not a saying,
Hmm.
it's a truth,
It's a
right?
revealed truth. Right.
Right. It's an existential truth that has to be true, right?
Right.
You can say, I don't believe in God. Okay, great. Then this truth doesn't apply to you. I don't believe in Christianity. I don't believe in the incarnation. Okay, sure. Like that's fine. It doesn't apply to you. However, you cannot say I'm Christian. You cannot say I believe in the incarnation without accepting that because it's axiomatic. Like it has
Mhm.
to be true because the incarnation is meaningless if he doesn't fully assume our full humanity, right? And then we went on to the question, but it's not just a saying, right?
Right.
And there are things like that that are so central to our faith that if they are contradicted in any way, then everything else falls apart, right? And we either believe that it is a brick house with a tangible existential reality, or it's a house of cards, right? And we have to distinguish the bricks, the foundation, versus a picture that somebody put up on the wall. That's not a foundational like structural thing in the house, right? And something like the fall of the devil, um, I don't really think is going to have a real answer. And treating it as something contemplative, interesting, I find that like I actually like I find it interesting and compelling, and I'm like, oh yeah, look, hey, like it's actually more plausible, and the envy was not for God, but for us having the gift of being able to partake of the divine nature. I think it's a great argument, but you cannot, in my opinion, and forgive me if I'm being rigid about this, you cannot attribute it to Christianity
No, I'm
if
not. I think it's I think I think the narrative makes sense. It's not going to
right,
be
but
part of the
but you
creed. It's
can't
not
you
going to be
can't
any of
say
that
I
stuff.
think this is true as
Why
in
not?
a because okay,
I'm not understanding. Hold up, can we tee it up because I
yeah.
wasn't part of this conversation last time. What's the fundamental brick you think his argument is pulling from our
I'm just saying it's
structure?
not a brick. That's all I'm saying is it's not a brick.
His argument's not a brick added
It's
to the
it's like
foundation.
a nice painting on the wall of the house of our faith. You take it, you move it to a different house. The painting doesn't exist. It doesn't change anything.
So then what's the so then okay, so then, well, then why does he need a source
Yeah,
to have this thought? That's my question.
As long as we're making a distinction, right?
Yeah,
Between
yeah.
something that is, you know, dressing, interesting, contemplative, and I mean I've seen this before where people that are in much more of an authoritative position than Ralph, right? And
shocking.
I know, shocking. I know, like who, like Saint Cyril himself, like, like no, like there are people who, would be quoted as, like, oh, because so and so said so, and like so and so doesn't need a reference, right? Like they are the reference, and they don't make a distinction between things that are theological, dogmatic, and things that are contemplative, spiritual, of interest to them, and you'll hear people quote both, and
Mm.
like thank God, like, you know these people by and large, for the most part, are not leading people astray, right? Like the theological dogmatic stuff is correct, but when people have a hard time distinguishing between the theological dogmatic stuff and the, like, yeah, I mean that's interesting, like I wonder if that's
But
really
yeah, but
true.
who's in charge of the dogma in the Coptic Orthodox Church? Who's like makes
Oh,
the
now we're
rules?
opening up a
I'm
different can of
teasing. I'm
worms.
teasing. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. But it does illustrate a larger point that I make. My
Yes,
biggest my
yes,
bugaboo
yes. Your point is
is
well taken.
okay.
But
We
to
move
quote,
forward.
Mitch.
but to quote Augustine, right? Augustine said, in essentials unity, in non-essentials liberty, and in all things charity. So
Mm,
I'm assuming this is a non-essential. It's not a brick. So I do have the liberty to ponder on this idea and see that if it jibes uh, with my well-grounded Orthodox understanding of what Jesus preached and what the apostles preserved and what the church fathers spoke about. There's another P, I forget what it is.
it
Uh,
yeah.
then I can say I can say what I want.
I'm with you, and actually, I think it aligns with my thoughts on that. And again, it's not a brick; it's just something I play with my mind, which is, I wonder if the jealousy came from the ability to not be saved. Like the
Yeah,
ability,
that's
that's yeah, like the ability, like the ability to be saved is something to be is almost immeasurable in its greatness and ability, right? The ability to be like to make a mistake and to be forgiven for it is there's nothing more wonderful than that. And not being able to have that is to me was something I thought about. The jealousy came from like the ability not to be forgiven for mistakes is something, right? And I think that, I mean, Gerard touches on it, and I saw the Devil Fall Like Lightning. He touches on it kind of in the
Renee.
yeah, in the penumbras of that book. But like, it is interesting, and I don't think it's like required belief. It's just something I think about very much. And maybe I'm like humanizing angels too much, but yeah,
Mm, yeah, I
yeah,
think as long as it's not
we
I
agree.
mean, you're the one
being
who threw out the word heresy or heretic. That's, very early on.
What
And
is
yeah, you did. You said heretic and heresy. And I was like, well, that's not that. It's not
what
that.
it? I mean, heresy. I mean, heresy like. that term as a Catholic, right? Our history
I
is
mean,
full of people throwing around that term so loosely and
someone else
silly.
said that I used the word heresy and like a context. I was like, I said that. I was like, I don't think I did. I was
Yeah, you
like I think the opposite of that. And I like now I have two recordings that I need to go back and listen to because I'm like, yeah, I never had, yeah, like if I said that I was wrong. Like I don't
yeah,
think
yeah,
so. No, I don't think it rises to the level of heresy because like if it's true, okay. If it's not true, okay. Like you said, like it doesn't fall into something that is like the central core of our faith that if not properly understood, then it affects our relationship with God or our relationship with each other or really our understanding of anything that matters. So yeah, I don't think it's that serious, I guess.
Do you think there's harm in that kind of in that sort of narrative? Do you think there's
I
anything that
think there's harm in the distinct like if you think about everything as like a like a target with like a bullseye and like the periphery. I don't think that we have a clear appreciation of what the bullseye is, right? Like what is not assumed cannot be saved. That's in the bullseye, right? We believe in one God, God the Father. Like the creed is in the bullseye,
that's
right?
not part of the creed, by the way. You just misquoted the creed.
Truly, we believe in one God.
No, we believe in one God the Father. We don't even though
Oh
it's written
God.
everywhere, but
All
it says
right.
we believe
Okay.
in
I
one
know.
God,
Yeah,
God the
we've been through
Father.
this. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So
The
don't say that. That's
the the
heresy,
the
bro.
the creed a la Ralph.
It's
Um.
not. It's the Nicene Creed.
Okay. 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 We.
That's a
So
button. You press the button that you probably remember from a long time ago. You press the button right there.
so Mitch, you know Mark Henry.
Hmm.
Mark Henry. Anytime he asks me a question, I respond with, "How many quarters are you putting into the Mina machine?" Like it's not just a button, it's like a graded button because like I need to warn him like there's a rant, like his question is triggering a rant. So whether he knows it or not, like he's doing it on purpose or not, I'm asking him like out of charity, like how much are you investing? And he goes, "Oh, I got a fiver." It's like that means like okay, like yeah, like I can do the whole thing. But anyway, so like the stuff that's in the bullseye, right, is worthy of all of our attention. And like if we were smart, like we wouldn't do, podcasts and talk about like nonsense. Like we would just be focused on those things. And anything else that comes up, we go, nope, nope, doesn't matter. And then there's like the outer ring, stuff that's relevant, pastoral, like really, really like close like the virgin birth, for example, right? It's not in the center. Like people treat it like it's in the center. It is
It's in the
not.
center. It's part of the creed. What are you talking about?
Yes, okay, it's in the center.
You gave
it,
up on that one quick, but
Honestly, because like it's just not worth the argument.
right.
Or like the ever virginity of Mary, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
that
Right,
one,
that's a different one. Right, that's
right.
not.
I mean
yeah,
that's what
I'm
I'm
with you on
that's
that.
what, right. um
I know
so
people on my team really get worked up about that. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you do.
does it really
it
matter?
doesn't like it doesn't matter, right? But the further away you get, like how did Satan fall? Just like it's on the outside, right? Like what hats the priests are wearing, it's like in a different zip code.
Yeah, we can agree he fell. We can
Like,
agree he exists,
right.
and that's everything else is just interesting,
Conjecture. Yeah,
interesting conjecture.
yeah.
Exactly, and that's for me. If we start with, I don't think this matters that much. However, right? I think this really matters. I think this is really important, and we need to get this right. And therefore, right? And the thing that I'm encouraging us to be more careful about is that distinction. And even like for example, like if somebody thinks that something's out here and somebody else thinks that it's closer, that in and of itself is worth a conversation, right? Like, how important is this, right? Not what does the church believe, not do I agree, but how important is it that I agree, right? Like when we had the COVID with, the like sharing the spoon, and there's like, I'm going to use the word heresy, that you can get sick, that you can't get sick from the spoon, right? This spiritualization of, no, it's physical, right? It's fully physical and fully spiritual, right? It is a heresy to say, oh, you can't get sick from the spoon. It's like saying, okay, so if I fall from the roof of the church, I can't die. Like the laws of physics and the laws of nature do not get suspended in the church for any reason, right? It is still a physical place, right? Now, am I gonna die on that hill and, like, make a big scene about it? No. Like if somebody asks me, I'm gonna tell them my opinion. Like it's far enough out of the bullseye that somebody can be in error and believe that heresy. And I'm using the word heresy deliberately, that it is misleading and it causes friction and distance, between us and the service, when we treat it in a way that it's not. But okay, like it's not a bad. It's like a very lowercase h heresy. Maybe.
Yeah, if you're this far into it and you're still listening, please post the chat you had with your parents about the spoon conversation in the comments below, because we want a good laugh because those were all funny and everybody's parents said that to them and it was very funny. So
What did
please,
they say? They said that.
that you can't get sick from sucking on the spoon together. And every parent that I know, Egyptian boomer, sent it to their kids, and the kids fought with their parents on it. And I want to see those comments in the chat. If you're this far in, all right, I digress. No, I
I
think
had some really like upsetting
yeah,
conversations about that.
I'm sure
Like
you
there was
did.
nothing funny about it. I was
Oh,
like,
dude, it was funny. Listen, the ones my I that I was part of were very funny.
no, no.
I'm not a
I wish I
doctor though,
could.
so I don't
I
know.
wish I wish I could unhave some of those conversations.
I think
Because then you'd have respect for those people again. Is that is that what
I
you're
have no comment at this time.
I thankfully I was spared those conversations. I was just railing against churches shutting down when they shouldn't have shut down. They should have gone to jail. Bishops should have gone to jail. Priests should have gone to jail. They should have done what they had to do. They shouldn't have stopped the service. They just I mean I was too busy angry at that sort of central tenet of the
I
Christian
mean,
faith about going to church.
we took a free market approach to it, which ones that shut down, we stopped going to and just went to the ones that stayed open. And that's where our tithing and kind of our effort, I put our effort into those that stayed open and were committed to doing their job and taking the necessary precautions, but doing their job. And ones that didn't do the job, that's yeah. Like I
But if there was
know
a point in time where the word necessary was still undefined, don't you think closing was appropriate?
during the Black
No,
Death, the churches closed. I forget.
no.
Someone let me know in the chat.
It's never appropriate. It's never appropriate to listen to the government telling you to shut down the churches, especially when the government kept open bars, weed dispensaries, and BLM rallies. So as
Okay,
long
that's
as if that was acceptable, but
If
somehow prayer and singing wasn't.
the French
okay.
laundry
No,
can if the French laundry can be open, the church can be open,
Yeah.
and you do it outside. That I mean, generally speaking, like or get a grotto and do it half inside, half out. Like figure it out is my general rule, and
for sure.
I think we've raised that from that experience. I will say, at least in the Catholic Church, that experience taught a lot of young priests how to have a little bit more backbone and
Mhm.
just and they learned it was frankly as much as I didn't like it at the time it there's a generation of priests coming up who learned a lot from that experience about like what it takes and the bureaucracy that it takes in order to manage that sort of thing and still be in service to your bishop and obviously that's going to take years to come out in the wash, at least on our side, right? The number of bishops who are supportive of that are still in power, and but the youth is kind of will be changing. We all learn, right? Generations learn from one another. When we'll overcorrect. The answer is we're going to overcorrect and go the other direction some in ways, right? You overcorrect from your parents and your grandparents.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, I'm thinking about individuals and institutions taking on, like, personalities of individuals, and vice versa.
Mhm.
And I think that makes sense. Like just like we have the chance to repent but in repenting we can overcorrect.
Right.
Institutions can do
100%.
the same thing. So hopefully I don't overcorrect in saying, well, Mitch and Ralph told me that I don't really need to care what people think. I think
Well, yeah, I mean,
that.
like there's prudence there. I mean, you can't just do whatever you want, right? You gotta like,
Well, no, no. Ralph and Mitch said,
yeah,
like, I'm too concerned about people's feelings,
yeah.
which nobody's ever said before.
I mean, I yeah, I people's you're it's because you become less and less responsible. It's like it circles, right? So you're very responsible for what your wife thinks. And like keeping her like your prudence level must be very high in how you manage that. Kids, and then the concentric circles outward are are less and less. And if it's like someone not in your community, like it may seem like they're in community because they're online and they have the ability to like chat with you, but like if you don't know them, if they can't buy you a beer or whatever, if they don't buy you a glass of water at the bar, like then it matters less and less.
I love that like so the previous recording was like X-rated, and now you're like beer.
X-rated.
No, no, we don't say beer. We don't say
Well,
beer.
I got
Like
so
now we
I'm
like it's not even
overcorrecting from the
like
last
PG.
one.
It's like G.
Well, not
It's
everybody
like
drinks, is what I was gonna say, but like, yeah,
yeah.
I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol. I don't. So just
yeah,
FYI.
that's good to
And
know.
I don't care if you drink or say the word beer either. And my whole theory on life is uh, comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. Offend all you can. Wake people up. Do what you got to do, even if it's a simple, being a provocateur of people. As long as you're doing it for someone else's uh, maybe to disestablish whatever has been put into their heads and have them at least see that there's something else going out there. If you need to provoke and if you need to offend and if you need to, um, you know, overturn the money lenders' tables, then you do what you need to do.
I think
I have to drop, guys, but I do want to like touch on something. I want to talk about head coverings at church sometime, if that's okay. I know it's a
Female head
weird. I know,
coverings.
yeah, I know that's maybe we shouldn't, but like it's so interesting to me. Like I feel the transgressing that happens when people do or don't. It's like an outward. It's one of the more interesting things I find about the Coptic
okay.
Church,
So
And I
and
so
think
and the shoe and the wearing of shoes. Even though we don't go up on the altar anymore, but we still take our shoes off. I'm confused about that. I have like general questions about transgressions within Mass. But anyway, whatever. We don't have to talk about it now. It's very like basic kindergarten level Coptic stuff. But yeah.
So we'll end the episode with two things. Number
Yeah.
one, I get now we know what we're talking about next time. Thank you, Mitch. And I also want to highlight what Ralph just said. I think the previous episode, which may or may not air ever, was focused on like what are we doing here and why. And I think the four of us, Sharif's not here, but he would identify as this also as provocateurs. Like we like but okay, but where did you read that? Like okay, but like how does that align with logic? How does that align with your experience? You can't just say, well, that's what I've always been told. Like okay, we've been told a lot of things. Like what makes it true? And maybe it is true, but if someone gets pushed um and they happen to be offended or sad or whatever negative emotion arises from being pushed, that I'm really not that apologetic for, because it's okay. Like you either respond with, no, I don't know why I believe this, which is a problem. Like, why do you believe something that you don't even really understand? Or convince me, like, okay, like maybe you know something I don't know, but tell me, like, where did this belief come from and why? And maybe other people are doing this also, but if this is in the public domain and someone happens upon it and they are challenged or encouraged to challenge themselves or other people around them, then if that's all we're doing, I think that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
So thanks
Cool.
for watching.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, everybody.
bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.